pray that all the work here is done in your name. Lord, we just ask a blessing on each and every one that's here, Lord. As they go home, Lord, please grant them traveling mercies. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Still need to announce that.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, I'm just going to let you know right now, I'm leaving at 5:45.
And we won't have a
Or after I leave. So, we do.
You hear that?
Okay. Just saying. Would you mind? Yeah, Michelle? Oh. I'll give it to you. Give you everything you need. I'm sorry.
No, I mean,
Give me your copy. Do you mind?
Not a problem.
There is my agenda. Here's paper. And there is. Yes.
I got that.
I appreciate it.
I'm on Benton County, Tennessee.gov.
Okay, roll call. Me, Daryl, and Phil. So absent members would be Rocky and Mary. And we do have a quorum now. Approval of last month's agenda. Can I get a motion?
motion.
Motion, I second.
I'm gonna try to say them pretty quick.
All in favor? Okay. Okay, citizens forum, Debbie Kyle.
I'm gonna be fast, Angie.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I gave y'all some things. I wanna talk to y'all about reverse 911. I've been working on reverse 911, trying to get it in this county for 10 years. Got started in it when the tornado hit Faxon, right after John Smoot was appointed. Those people down there lost everything. Most of them didn't have insurance and they were like city ducks, no warnings. We do have a siren that the city uses, but however, most of this, we would need like 300 to 400 sirens to cover our county. This is absolutely the best route to go. I've talked to Mr. Watkins, the EMA director over in Paris. I've talked to Bobby Brown over in Humphreys County. People don't have to sign up. They take our phone numbers that they get from banks, credit unions, and the election commission. People they will set out an initial call. If you live in the county, you don't want to know what's going on in the city, you can opt out. The city can use it like if there's a bridge out, if a road is closed. The fire departments can use it if they're gonna have a controlled burn as a training facility. We can use it for the highway department, like I said, for the bridges. The city can use it if they have a main water line break, and it's gonna affect Washington Avenue, there's not gonna be any water. The electric company can use it if there's a power outage. So it's multi-purpose, it's free training, unlimited training, it's unlimited messages. The schools can use it if there's not gonna be any school. When Cleo was going to holiday school, they had a boil, where they were boiling the water to show the kids at holiday not to drink the water. Cleo was going, I didn't know it till I dropped her off, and they came out saying that they couldn't drink the water, so I came back down and bought bottled water. All those things that we can use, any agency can use it, the school can use it. One thing, I hate to say it, we all know that a natural disaster is gonna hit Benton County. It's not a matter of if it's going to happen. Whether it's a tornado, an earthquake, whether we have a school shooter. I hate to say it, and I hate to bring up a school shooter, but it could happen. It could happen. And you can imagine the terror that parents would be in if that happened and they didn't know what was going on. This would do that. Okay, this would tell them, we've got it under control, you know, everything's under control, and that way there's not massive panic. So, it's not a matter as to if we're gonna have a natural disaster, it's when. And it's $10,000 a year. I have been to the 911 board 3 times in 10 years. Every time that I went, and last night, they told me they couldn't spend their money on it because they don't get county and city funding. They can pay for 911 equipment, they can't buy sirens, and they can't pay for reverse 911. I want y'all to think about funding part of it. I've got Mr. Pafford a copy of it. The city may be funding part of it, and Big Sandy to fund part of it. We've got to protect the citizens, and $10,000 is nothing for somebody's life. What if a kid is lost in the woods? You know, you can notify those people around that area to look in your garages, look in your outbuildings to see that kid's not hiding, look in your cars. So, I just want to have y'all to take a look at it, and I'll do all the legwork. All the legwork for nothing. I'll talk to Ron Lane, get some radio time so people will know they're going to be getting calls. I'll go over to the schools, I'll give flyers out, I'll do whatever, but we need this. Okay? Thank you.
Okay, Roger Patrick?
I'm here because Mr. Mayor Lashley asked me to be here tonight. I just wanted to tell y'all that I'm not opposed to what y'all are trying to do. Mayor Lashley's vision of the civic center or whatever all we're going to do down there. And I guess it's really my job to convince my board that council that. So that's something I'll have to think on. What I would really like to have would be a plan that y'all have down there, like maybe even a blueprint. Because if you have to go, you're going to have to go to the planning commission in the city anyway with a plan on what you're going to do, so you meet all your codes and everything. And so something like that, if I could get that, then I could go to my board and ask for some help from the council. So it's going to be a stretch because I know there's some of them that don't want to do anything like that. They don't want to do nothing. And we're kind of stretched for money in the city. But we're going to try to help all we can. And so just want you to know that. So,
Alright, thank
okay.
you, we appreciate it. Alright, County Mayor, do you have anything to update? And I will remind you, I'm leaving at 5:45.
Yeah, I know. And I won't talk on the plan and project yet, until we get to that on the resolutions. But as far as what you've been saying, we've had a lot of emphasis lately, with our weather, coverage in the county, which I think has been a very beneficial thing for the county. It's brought our awareness to either the lack of our weather alert systems and our coverage, and it's gotten the public involved. I've been reading about this code red, and I'm very interested myself, and I'm gonna tell you that I'll support it all I can. We'll probably run it through the ENA budget, and let the ENA do this, but I will seek a legal opinion from E911 from the state level so that they can at least assure us that E911 cannot do this. So I'll get some verification of that, but if they can't do it, then I think, as we see in a rural county, this is, I believe, a very needed asset for all the citizens. So as far as what Mayor Pafford said, I've spoken with his committee that he's assigned already, to kind of look into this, and we will not put the city at a disadvantage. This is why we plan properly and do things the right way. And but we've already figured out his finances to a degree of how it can be a win-win outcome for both the city and the county, and without negatively affecting his budget or even the county budget at the end of the day. So I'll wait till we get to that on the resolution and expand more on details and things like that. But I hope I addressed a little bit.
Yeah, thank you.
Alright, now I'll move on to approval of the minutes.
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Sometimes I forget to speak.
Alright, so moving on to the resolutions, 2019031803. This resolution is passing the fiscal strength and the effective government fiscal confirmation letter in order to meet the 3-star program requirements. Can I get a motion?
Second.
Discussion? Alright, voice vote.
I'm sorry, who did the motion second? Okay, sorry.
We'll try to keep them in that order where it'll, if that's all right.
Well, I was trying to get the resolution.
I'm sorry. I kinda threw her into this job tonight because we're short some people, so.
She does a wonderful job.
Right. So, the motion carries. Okay. Alright, resolution 2019031805. This resolution is budgeting funds in the amount of $3,498 within the animal shelter's budget.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Alright, all in favor? Aye. Motion to recommend. I haven't got that far. I don't think so. Well, maybe. No, you can't see. Okay. 2019031806, resolution budgeting funds in the amount of $38,113.28 within the Fund 171 capital projects for the Benton Decatur Sewer Grant Funds, USDA.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, discussion?
Is this revenue that they received?
Yeah, we've already received it, now we're just paying out the final, and this is the final payment on that project.
Alright, motion to recommend. Or all in favor, sorry. Aye.
Yeah.
So, motion to recommend carries. 2019031807, the resolution budgeting funds in the amount of $4,314.68 within the sheriff's budget.
Motion.
Can I get a second? Okay, discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries to recommend. Am I going too fast?
No, I got it.
Okay,
I'm using shorthand.
thank you. 2019031808, resolution budgeting funds in the amount of $328.20 within the library's budget. Can I get a motion to recommend?
Second.
Discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries to recommend. 20190309, resolution budgeting funds in the amount of $100 within the senior citizens budget.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries to recommend. 2019031810, resolution to transfer payroll funds within the jail's budget in the amount of $19,000 to ensure adequate funding for the rest of the fiscal year within certain payroll line items. Can I get a motion to recommend?
Motion.
Second?
Second, why, I have a question, Michelle, why is, we haven't had, why we haven't had this increase expenditure in guards and lieutenants? It's a pretty good, you know, it's $19,000 increase.
A lot of it has been we've had a lot of turnover on the jail side. And every time we hire new jailers, they have to go to a week-long school and get certified. And so we have to pay them while we're there, and while they're gone, we're having to pay people to cover their shifts. We're so short-handed. We cannot keep the people. They keep going, you know, as soon as we get them certified, they'll work 6, 8 months, and then Henry County or Carroll County offers them more money and they're gone. So we have to hire more people who aren't trained and go through the whole vicious cycle. And we are just having a hard time covering our shifts, that's all it is.
Will this be new money
No, this is being
It's
transferred
just
out of
your
others.
jail's budget.
Now, the cafeteria personnel and the maintenance, we have been without a full-time maintenance man. Right now, Keith Weatherly has come back, so we have extra money in maintenance. And cafeteria personnel, that fellow left and we hired someone in and she's working full-time, but we're not paying her as much as he was because he had a lot of other hats he was wearing. So we have extra money in that line item that we can pull out.
How many cafeteria personnel are we slotted for?
We have one, we were slotted for more, we're down to one, and the sheriff is trying to hire a part-time cook for the weekends. Because TCI said that they want a cook in there every day. So we've got someone, she works a split shift. She comes in and does breakfast, she leaves, she comes back and does dinner, but she can't work 7 days a week. So we're trying to find someone who just wants a weekend job, mornings and afternoons.
Okay, voice vote, no, voice vote. Roll call.
Yeah. Oh, Andy Hearn,
You roll call?
Yes.
Gerald Hicks,
Yes.
Bill Mountain,
Yes.
motion passes.
2019031811, resolution to transfer payroll funds within the sheriff's department budget into the amount of $56,800 to ensure adequate funding for the rest of the fiscal year within certain payroll line items. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second. Discussion. Michelle, this is a large amount of money we're transferring out of an expenditure item, to other things. Supervisor Director, what is that?
That's our two chief deputies.
Okay, and why are they going up by $4,000?
Okay, they're not going up. Basically, they're slotted for 84 hours a pay period. And if like, let's say one of them, let's say we had a holiday during the week and they get that 8 hours off. They weren't here. But then they get called out that weekend for, you know, a serious call. I can't pay them out of the overtime line item because they physically have to work 86 hours before it's overtime. But I still end up compensating them for the holiday and the time they work, which has to come out of their direct line item. And there's been a lot of where they worked and it wasn't overtime. As well as I've had to pay them both out some vacation days that they didn't use, and it adds up.
What about salary supplements, $39,000?
And that is because we are so understaffed in the deputy side and the dispatchers have finally lined out. We've got fully staffed dispatchers and they're doing good keeping that down. But right now we're down 3 or 4 deputies. And it was 3 and we've had another one put in his notice that he's leaving too. And those shifts, we've got to have more than 2 men on a shift, which means calling someone in and paying them overtime.
A lot of extra money in deputies if we can transfer it out.
Well, yeah, because we're down so many deputies, we're not spending it.
So basically, you're just transferring money in your own budget.
Yeah, it's probably, most of it's going to go to the deputies, but it's gonna go to them in overtime instead of regular hours, because they're working the overtime. And it sucks, but right now that's the boat we're in.
Any more discussion? Alright, roll call vote, please.
Okay, Angie Hearn,
Yes.
Darryl Hicks,
Yes.
Bill Melton,
Pass.
okay,
So motion fails.
fails.
Right. 2019031812. Resolution to appropriate the funds in the amount of $40,000 for the unassigned fund balance within the Fund 171 Capital Projects Fund in order to purchase the sheriff his second patrol car as originally planned in the fiscal budget cycle. Can I get a motion?
Motion. Second.
Okay, discussion? I guess my only,
Oh, no.
oh, you ready? I guess my only thing is he needs this car still? Or does he want to put the money aside for next? Or, I never got a clear understanding.
I'm having trouble understanding the whole thing myself. To take the money out of the sheriff's budget and say, okay, we're gonna put 40,000 here, that's 40,000 the sheriff won't be able to use for other things.
That's correct.
I don't think Buck takes money out of his direct budget and puts it aside. I think he gets that money out of capital or whatever, and it goes in a separate account. So I think the sheriff's also a little unclear. I think he'd like to understand it better. He is in favor of doing that program, but not doing it with the vehicle he was promised this year.
This vehicle?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he is.
He's not wanting to purchase the vehicle?
Oh, no, he is wanting to purchase this vehicle.
He wants to purchase this vehicle, okay.
Right, but I'm saying, I think he is very interested in getting into a thing where the funds are set aside on a regular basis, so that each budget year, we're not asking the general fund for money, we're just in like whatever kind of program, that's handled automatically, so that the county doesn't take big hits all at once.
That will be addressed as we
I
go
will
into the
like
next
to
budget.
Right, but I mean,
What you
I
said,
think he wants his
I'm sorry.
funds.
I was about to stroke too.
It is
It's
5:22.
Okay, I just wanna know.
So, any more discussion on this? Or on resolution 12, Ms. Marion?
It's about the police car. He's still wanting the police car
And we did
for
promise.
this fiscal
Yeah.
year. We did promise it, but nevertheless, we gotta appropriate money for it. If
And I'll show you that. We're on,
I'm sorry,
no, I was gonna get you to it, Ms. Marion, but we're on 16. That's where we're at. Okay. Can I have a roll call vote?
okay. I'll save you for last, ma'am, to give you a second. Angie Hearn,
Pass.
Darryl Hicks,
no,
Phil Melton,
Yes.
Mary Powers, okay, motion fails.
Right. 201903-1813. This resolution is to appropriate the funds in the amount of $6,105 from the unassigned fund balance within the county general fund in order to hire a full-time animal control officer for the remainder of the 2018-19 fiscal year. Can I get a motion?
well,
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion. Okay,
I do have a question, but I don't know. Just wait up. Is this something? Is the control officer we have now, is he not gonna finish out the rest of the year?
that might be a question for
No.
maybe.
He signed, which he gave us kind of a leeway, that he'll do it for so many months, and he, his resignation was effective February 15th, he did stay over and work a week, I think, or 10 days to kind of help us out. We're currently without an animal control officer, and it's probably a resolution that we passed last month. We didn't have enough people show up, you know, but
Do we have anybody in mind?
the way we did it, we feel like we've eventually got to move to a full-time job for that. And we've kind of budgeted it somewhat for 30 hours, to get us through to June 30th.
Okay, Brett.
I doubt that we'll use a lot of it right away, you know, so it will give us a little bit of fluff, but it covers those times when they might be 34 hours one week, 26 another.
Something was mentioned at the budget committee that their part-time employees were working 34 hours. And I corrected her and said that they should only be working 29 and a half. And she said, you know, that she had talked to me
Well,
about that.
they can't exceed a certain amount of threshold, so that when they say 34 hours, that might be for a pay period, but not
Okay,
within,
not
or,
with-
like, not within that certain time frame that they've got.
Okay.
Stay
That's
from.
my-
That's a very good job.
Okay, Ms. Lindy?
I just have a question about this. Their budget as of March sixth of 2019, they've got $81,297.22 available. Can they not find it in their budget to finish out this fiscal year for that position out of all that money?
Well, we still have so much money earmarked for a capital improvement and a vehicle, actually. So we're kind of making sure that that stays respective to its line item. It will probably get rebudgeted back over into
Do they not have two vehicles?
July the 1st. However, keep in mind, this is not for the animal shelter. This is for the animal control officer. Completely different section in the budget. So if you'll see it, it's in there, if you've got the budget.
It's not gonna be under the rabies and animal control anymore? It's under a different part of the budget?
Well, if it's, I haven't seen what you're like looking at or whatever,
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
the thing is we are budgeting to hire the position and,
So the CO's been paid out before under the salaries line item. But if this gentleman is working part-time, I'm sure his money is coming out of the part-time line
and
item.
I'll have to check with Gene to see if they actually put some part-time help under that. But this is to hire pretty much one person on a consistent, basis.
Right.
I look at it as, we'll just have excess to put back in and refund it July 1st.
Nothing ever goes back
Any more
into
discussion?
the general fund. Nothing ever makes it back.
Alright, roll call vote, please.
Okay, Angie Hearn,
Pass.
Darryl Hicks,
Yes.
Phil Melton,
Pass.
Mary Powers,
Yes. Motion fails to recommend. Alright, 201903-318-14, resolution to appropriate funds in the amount of $5,250.30 from the unassigned fund balance within the county general fund in order to pay Dr. Scott Portis for the cremation permit signed off on the behalf of Benton County for the entire year of 2018, and budget the said funds to the expenditure account number 010-546-10199, county coroner, medical examiner, other per diem, and fees. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second. Okay, discussion?
Why have we not paid any of this for the entire year of 18?
Well, it has to be billed
So
too.
he hasn't billed
Yeah,
us.
so we haven't received any billing until recently.
We need to get him to bill more often.
It used to be on a monthly basis,
Yeah.
and then he's, I don't know.
Are y'all
Maybe
paying,
you don't
are y'all
need the
paying
money.
for advance? Is this for advance, or is this for one that's
Back.
already done?
No, this is for,
Once it's
what we're
already
being
done.
billed for.
Yeah, it's already been signed off on. That's what it says.
Okay, any more
And there may
discussion?
be, in the packet in your support, there's gonna be a letter and all that probably detailing why.
There is a list in,
Yeah.
okay.
Any more discussion? Alright, roll call vote, please.
Angie Hearn,
Pass.
Darryl Hicks,
Yes.
Phil Melton,
Yes.
Mary Powers,
Yes. Okay, motion carries to recommend. Alright, moving on to 201903-1815, resolution to appropriate the funds in the amount of $296.47 from the litigation tax reserve account number 101345520 and budget to the expenditure account number 101518000.707. Building improvements in order to pay for the additions that need to be made during the courthouse's Cat 5 Plus and Cat 6 Plus cable upgrade project.
Motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Okay, roll call vote.
Angie Hearn,
Pass.
Darryl Hicks,
Yes.
Phil Melton,
Yes.
Mary Powers,
Yes. Okay, motion carries to recommend. 2019031816, resolution to appropriate the said funds in the amount of $7,200 from the unassigned reserves within the county general fund and budget to the expenditure account number 10155310322, regional medical health evaluations and testing in order to pay the outstanding invoice received from the Western Mental Health. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay. Discussion? Are we about to the end of these? Paying these
We've paid
mental
out
health?
$82,000 on this, this fiscal year. I did find out some information recently, that there might be an opportunity to recoup this, so I'm in the process of trying to pull that back.
That would be wonderful.
Keep your fingers crossed, there's
We
no
did
guarantee.
question the judge when he presented his budget for the year. And we explained to him that the whole county is highly unhappy with this.
Well, the one thing is I think there's a flaw in the process of sentencing and all that, so that we've learned from this. It's gonna open up good debate so that we don't repeat this issue. But if we are successful in being able to possibly recoup, then it was a judicial flaw. Something missed the system. Either they didn't build appropriate office, and we've been paying this for what now, 2 years now? And so that has become the norm. And so, our interview this past week, that we had with someone is that I kinda took it as we should never have been paying this. So we're kinda researching where the breakdown is, hopefully, because if there's a breakdown, it gives us leverage for recoupment, but they may be correct. I'll let you know as soon as I know.
Alright, any more discussion? Alright, roll call vote, please.
Take it all this down.
It's okay.
Okay, Angie Hearn,
Pass.
Darryl Hicks,
Yes.
Bill Melton,
Yes.
Mary Powers.
Yes.
Okay, motion to recommend carries. 2019031817, resolution to appropriate $40,000 for the unassigned fund balance within the 128 TRRD fund and budget the said funds to the expenditure account number 128.58110.316, contributions in order to get the TRRD board through the remainder of the 2018-2019 fiscal year. Can I get a motion to recommend?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Okay, discussion?
I have a question. This is 40,000, fairly large amount of money. You know why they're needing, what they're needing to get through the year with?
Yeah, well, it's their own money.
Yeah, that's what I-
And, and they've got about 140,000, in the bank, that they can spend. But this is to cover that jump fish, their sponsorship of the jump fish and a couple of other, events that they're gonna, pay into. I will say that there's gonna be another $7,000 request that's coming up, for the airport fly-in. They were saving that money back, thinking it would happen after the other fiscal year, when they normally have it in October, but they can only schedule it for June of this year. So they'll probably come back next month with a $7,000 request. And that
That'll
should
be
get-
their money as well.
Okay, any more discussion? Alright, roll call vote?
Okay, Angie Hearn,
Pass.
Darryl Hicks,
Yes.
Bill Melton,
Yes.
Mary Powers.
Yes.
Okay, motion to recommend carries. 2019031818, resolution to appropriate funds in the amount of $6,994.65 from the unassigned fund balance within the county general fund to purchase supplies and materials necessary to increase the population of state inmates within the jail's budget. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion?
Is this money to, get the cots and the,
Yes, it's,
Mattresses.
right in the.
I'm sorry, I've been
Oh,
at
that's
work.
okay.
I ain't had
Right in
time
the
to read that.
resolutions, it's to the penny. Jerry Wood, our new jail administrator, called about 6 different vendors. He vetted the equipment, the prices, where we get price breakdown. This is the absolute best deal, and it would give us, 80 mats, 84 flat sheets, 84 fitted sheets, 108 bath towels, and 96 washcloths.
So we could have the state more state prisons.
Right.
Does that provide us with enough, mattresses for all the beds that we have available
Yes,
in the jail?
yes, and actually just a couple to put back for when one gets destroyed, you know, and, on top of this money we're asking for, he has looked through the jail's budget to see what we can purchase now out of the funds we already have. And then he's looking at what he's, requested for next year's budget to purchase on a more slow, regular basis so that we're not in this position again, hopefully.
Could I ask this question?
Yes,
Can you
ma'am.
not charge the inmates if they tear them up?
We
Like-
do. If an
Could that-
inmate destroys a mat, it becomes part of the rest, when they go to court, they're charged with destruction of jail property. And the judge assesses that cost, and it's $84 a mat, depending on where you buy it from. And, when the inmate gets out and they're put on probation, that is part of the fees he pays. It can be 3 years before we see that money. We do on occasion get a check from the courthouse for $60, $70, $80, but that doesn't fix the problem when it happens.
Ms. Dana?
I have a question. The, jail is shorthanded.
Yes, ma'am.
How is that going to affect if you try to get more prisoners if they're shorthanded?
Well, he is trying to get more COs hired. He has restructured the shifts, and he's hoping that the improved working conditions, and if we can get a raise in this next budget, will attract more competent COs and keep them happy to work with us.
But will you be able to recoup this, might as well say $7,000 between now and,
Most likely not, no.
okay.
Okay, any more discussion?
Do you replace the mat when they tear them up?
We have to.
It's mandated to,
I mean, they have to have a mat if they're in the cell.
but they tore it up. Do they tear it up intentionally, or does it just go
Oh, yeah,
bad?
it ain't by accident.
Huh?
It ain't by accident.
Well,
lot of
I mean, that's what
They
I,
get mad and throw a fit.
right,
You know,
that's what I was thinking.
I know where you're going, and I
Yeah.
agree with you, but
We had one inmate that wanted extra blankets, and he was told no, there was no medical reason for him to have an extra blanket. He ripped the mat and crawled inside of it and was refusing to come out of it. I mean, that's the kind of stuff they deal with, but yes, if they tear one mat up, we can charge them, take them to court, but they still have to have a mat if they're in our jail. We don't have a choice on that.
Okay, any more discussion? Alright, roll call vote.
Okay, Andy Hearn,
Pass.
Darryl Hicks,
yes.
Bill Melton,
Yes.
Mary Powers,
Yes.
Okay, motion to recommend carries. (2019-03-1819), resolution complying with the county's capital improvement plan and authorizing the county mayor to acquire properties to be used for the expansion of the county complexes. Can I get a motion?
Second.
Okay, discussion?
Yes. Mayor knows last night, I brought the question up as to whether we should be purchasing old buildings for, renovation as opposed to looking for a property in a new building as far as cost and future upkeep. I also have an additional concern, and that has to do with water issues. The site on 70, east, where the old Lockhart building is subject to flooding, and according to the city of Camden's flood map, appears to have some of that property in that floodplain. And I think that's an issue that we are gonna have to look at and take into consideration. We don't need to be purchasing property that might not be able to insure the area.
I don't know how much plainer that I can make it in our discussion, okay? And the attitude of trying to rule things out, I believe we should probably try to look for an attitude of ruling things in. I put a lot of thought to this. I think everyone saw the recent flooding that we've had, and I'll guarantee you with 100% certainty, if it didn't flood then, it's probably not going to flood. So, but even if it is, it will be a building that will be subjected just like any building. This courthouse is probably threatened if we want to take that scenario into play. Most of the complex that's going to be built down there is going to be an open pavilion, open property type of complex. Other than the Lockhart Ford building that we know of, that's the only building construction. And if you, I'm open to your ideas. If you would like to just simply raise the building and rebuild it there, I'm all for it. But the objective of this resolution is to purchase property, okay? We've got a lot of property out of the Benton County Industrial Park right now that's just sitting out there with nothing on it. I haven't heard one complaint about that, especially from the commission. A lot of it floods. And it's just amazing that these concerned commissioners aren't up in arms that we've got an industrial park with nothing built on it that's possible to flood. So we've taken an attitude of constantly wanting to rule things out. And I'm not sure that you could probably have a proposal that is more transparent, more forthright to the citizens of Benton County than what I have presented you. I've been watching this government for about 6 or 7 years closely, not seen one thing yet that I've presented to you. And I've heard one commissioner say that this is one of the hardest votes that they party have faced. I think it's one of the easiest votes. It's amazing that we can pass a $5 million capital plan without any debate. It passed in June of 2018 and no one said a word. And not only that, it passed unanimously. I'm just concerned that you did not raise questions at that time, okay? But it's
These proposals were not on the table at that time. This was.
But you were still committing the county at that time to a $5 million plan, and not one person said anything about finances. Okay, so I'm proposing a plan to purchase property. When we get to the projects, I guarantee you, Mayor Patrick will be front and center with that. And because it's to the benefit of all that we're a partnership in this endeavor. Now, last night they gave us the worst numbers they can. I mean, they went in high, which was what you do in finance. You want to be conservative. And with that amount, they still came up $50,000 in the black. Meaning, after we factored in all the grants, the funding, the matching, we still came out $50,000 in our pocket, extra from where we are today. I don't know if it's possible that this county will ever see a proposal like this, where it's been this carefully planned out, thought out, with the right people on board, and with the least cost impact to the county as possible. I just don't know. I mean, you tell me. So I'm going to propose this, and I'm at the end of the day, a financial portfolio analyst would probably tell you, when you diversify, all we're doing is trading cash for property. And if we sit on this for 5 years before we move on the very first project, then I'm kind of banking that we're going to sell property a lot higher than we're going to buy it, especially since we're getting into bottom dollar prices. And if we walk away at the end of the day, I would contend that we'll make money off this land if we never touch it. That we'll make money, which I think is actually a good investment for the county. So right now, we cannot even move forth on any project or vision. We cannot move forth on any project if we don't have property. And if we think we can come up with a better plan, I would be willing to bet that plan would be double the cost. Double. because we're gonna have to purchase new land. We're gonna have to build new buildings. And we've already inspected that building. It is in prime condition. And I was over there when all the flooding was coming across the road at the fairgrounds. And you know what? Parking lot wasn't touched. So you can continue to take the attitude of ruling in the negative, but that's exactly what I ran against, okay? And that is why we are where we are as a county, is because of attitudes like yours, okay?
Well, because we made a mistake with the industrial park, doesn't mean we should make another mistake with the property that we're purchasing now. And if it is showing in a floodplain, that is something that needs to be taken into consideration when we purchase these buildings or these properties. And I'm not opposed to the vision to move forward or to buy properties. My concern is that we're spending the money of Benton County in the best way we can, and I don't believe purchasing the old properties is the best way to do it. We have a difference of opinion on that, not a difference in the mission or the vision down the road.
Well, last night you ruled in the other Lockhart property. You wanted to understand why we didn't consider the other one across the street. It's a constant friction. You could have raised this concern last night when I had the engineers here that could have told you exactly.
I didn't have the information last night.
And so you're continually searching.
No, I'm not
It seems
continually
like.
searching.
Okay, so what you do with a floodplain is all you do is you self-insure whatever risk that you have, okay? So, and that's what we as a county do already. And just like with the industrial park, we don't really have a plan to build anything out there. So I have put forth a plan to purchase. Followed with that will be a plan of the projects that we want to do, okay? I do not believe that we can get any more thorough and transparent than what I have offered. I believe it's the best plan, and I think it will actually invigorate some private investment for the city of Camden, which will help them develop an area right now where they've got suppressed values. I like to think that it's going to be very beneficial to their bottom line financially. But it's okay, and I understand and I take your point, and it's an excellent point to take. But that's why I hired the engineers. That's why we get the architects on board, so that they can do all the design work. And if flooding is a concern, that will be built into whatever capital improvements that we make to that building. But that building is the largest building available in the city, and basically probably in the county of its type, okay, for what we want to do. And because we are incorporating it as a farmer's market, part of that is also to set our fairgrounds up for success as well, to give them a partner in their endeavors when they have their county fair each year. Okay, we already know what happens to their ground. It gets wet, it gets soggy, it suppresses tourism, it suppresses investment for tax collections and income for the city and the county. This actually complements their mission. It is a great partner for them. I think it's going to be a great community asset. And again, as I said, I'm committed to this project because I believe it's for the best interest of all of Benton County. But it's just one of several projects. And I'm sure if we probably looked at other properties, we could probably find some current county buildings right now that's probably just as at risk right now. We're sitting on the Senior Citizens Building, which continually needs repairs. It floods in the basement. It too is in a floodplain. We've got our county services building up here that would take multiple thousands and thousands of dollars just to get it what you call functional. And that's without any renovations. That's just to get it properly functioning with heating, air, roof, and all that. So was tasked at the very beginning with a commitment, a capital improvement plan of $5 million, 5 years. And I'm holding the county commission to its own promise. I think earlier today I heard, well, we promised the sheriff that car. Well, does that not apply to the capital improvement plan? is that promise I've heard at least 6 commissioners say, well, we promised to share it. But for some reason, they'll promise to share it and deliver. But when you promise the citizens of Benton County, oh, all bets are off the table. So the challenge is upon you. I believe you voted yes for that county capital improvement plan. You offered no discussion and debate at that time. So I'm challenging you as a commissioner to look at the positives of what this can do and look for reasons to be optimistic and rule it in. We will hire the proper people to protect our asset and ensure that it is not at any risk of water damage due to flooding.
We have a difference of opinion on it, we can move forward.
And I knew we had that before we ever got started, so. Any other questions? Thank you.
This needs a roll call vote. Mary Powers,
Yes.
Darrell Hicks,
Yes.
Bill Melton,
No.
is that fair?
All right, that takes us to resolution number 20, declaring the intent of Benton County, Tennessee to reimburse itself in approximately $500,000 for certain expenditures relating to the purchase of land and building with the proceeds of bonds, notes, and other debt obligations to be issued by Benton County. Mayor, motion.
Motion.
Second. If there be no second, this resolution fails.
Wait, I thought you seconded it.
I can't second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I second.
No, you made
You
the
made
motion.
the motion.
Why can't you second it?
You can.
Well, I second it.
Okay. Squibbling.
Any discussion? Call the roll.
I'll interrupt quick. Do y'all understand what that resolution is about? It means basically if we ever do any financing or from any other type of funding that we will receive on a project or that will pertain to also purchasing of land and property, we can pay ourselves back to the general fund. So the strategy of that is, again, we'll pay now, reimburse ourselves later, and roll what any out-of-pocket cost comes in into the capital improvement bond. So that's what the resolution is about.
Okay, Mary Powers,
Yes.
Darrell Hicks,
Yes.
Bill Melton,
Pass.
Motion failed. Any other business? Mayor, you have anything else?
One comment, I can understand why a commissioner would pass on reimbursing ourselves $500,000. It's beyond me, but that's what we've been faced with, and that's exactly what I ran against. So, we're gonna move this county forward. That's what I'm gonna do. I ran on that promise, and, I believe that, where there's no vision, the people perish. And Benton County had done a good job at providing that vision. So, but I'm thankful that some of these examples were exhibited tonight of what we've been faced with in the past. Thank you. Anybody else have anything?
All set. All set.
No other business? I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Business